Control your mouth, because every word you speak plants a seed in others and in yourself. Words have power far beyond the moment they are spoken. They build trust or break it, they inspire or destroy. When you speak with intention, you lead with purpose. But when you speak with anger, ego, or reaction, you create chaos. Most people lose respect not because they failed, but because they couldn't control what came out of their mouths. The most powerful people in the world are not those who talk the most. They are those who think before they do. Control your mood, because emotions can make or break the day. Moods are contagious, they shape the energy of a team, a family, a dream. If your mood is unstable, your direction becomes unstable too. Emotional maturity isn't about pretending you're fine. It's about staying grounded when life shakes you. It's about knowing that you can't control the storm, but you can control how you show up in it. When you master your mood, you master your momentum. Control your money, because financial freedom begins with self-control. Money doesn't change people, it reveals them. The person who can't manage 100 will never manage 1,000,000. It's not how much you earn, it's how much you respect what you have. Your spending reflects your values. Every unnecessary purchase steals a little piece of your future. Discipline in money is not about restriction, it's about direction. It's the art of saying, I choose growth over impulse. And finally, control your mind, because everything begins there. The mind is a battlefield, and every thought you allow in shapes your destiny. If you feed it fear, you'll live in limitation. If you feed it discipline and faith, you'll rise above everything that tries to stop you. The mind doesn't listen to what you wish, it listens to what you repeat. That's why self-talk matters, that's why habits matter, because every repetition rewires your reality. Control your mouth and you'll earn respect. Control your mood and you'll find peace. Control your money and you'll gain freedom. Control your mind and you'll unlock your potential. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress, to lead yourself better every single day. Because the person who can control these four, mouth, mood, money, and mind, doesn't just survive the world. He leads it. Discipline isn't built in silence, it's revealed in moments of choice. Anyone can talk about goals when life is calm, but real discipline shows up when you're standing at a crossroads between comfort and commitment. It's not about what you plan to do tomorrow, it's about what you choose to do now when no one is watching. The truth is, discipline doesn't live in the easy days. It lives in the hard moments when you feel tired, unmotivated, and tempted to give up. It's revealed when you choose to wake up early instead of hitting snooze, when you choose focus over distraction, when you keep a promise to yourself even though no one else would notice if you broke it. That's where self-respect is built, in those silent, unseen decisions that shape your destiny. Most people think discipline is about control, but it's actually about alignment. It's about aligning your actions with your values, your choices with your goals, and your habits with your vision. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is closed only by the decisions you make in those defining moments. Every time you choose growth over comfort, your character strengthens. Every time you say no to something small, you say yes to something greater. Discipline is not punishment, it's protection. It protects your purpose from being destroyed by your impulses. Think about it, your future self is built by the decisions your present self makes every single day. Discipline is how you honor that future self. It's how you build trust with yourself, brick by brick, choice by choice. Because when you can rely on yourself, the world begins to rely on you too. Greatness isn't born in noise or fame. It's born in quiet decisions that no one claps for. You don't need applause to stay consistent. You just need a reason strong enough to stay committed. So, when life gives you another moment of choice between what's easy and what's right, between now and later, between fear and faith, remember, that's where discipline is revealed. That's where transformation begins. Discipline isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not about being flawless, it's about being faithful to the path you promised yourself you'd walk. The way you speak is the way you shape your reality. Every word you speak holds energy. It either builds your world or breaks it. Words are not just sounds, they are seeds that grow into thoughts, habits, and outcomes. When you speak doubt, you plant insecurity. When you speak belief, you create confidence. The reality you live in today is often a reflection of the language you've been using about yourself and your life. If you constantly say, "I can't," your mind starts finding proof that you can't. But if you start saying, "I will figure it out," your brain begins to look for ways to make it possible. The words you speak program the way you think, and the way you think creates the life you experience. Your mouth can be your greatest tool or your greatest trap. Most people talk themselves out of opportunities before they even begin. They speak fear instead of faith, problems instead of possibilities. The difference between a weak mind and a strong one is often in the language it uses. Strong minds use words that create direction. Weak minds use words that create excuses. What you say to yourself in silence shapes the confidence you carry in public. You can't speak negativity all day and expect to live a positive life. You can't curse your journey and expect blessings to grow from it. Start paying attention to the words that leave your mouth about yourself, about others, about your future. Because your words don't just describe your life, they design it. The moment you choose better language, you choose a better direction. When you speak with gratitude, your focus shifts to what's working. When you speak with hope, your energy rises toward what's possible. The tone of your life will always match the tone of your speech. You don't need to have everything figured out to start speaking with purpose. You just need to be intentional with what you say. Speak what you want to see, not what you fear will happen. Speak strength even when you feel weak. Speak peace even when life feels chaotic. The way you speak is not just communication, it's creation. Every word builds a world, so choose to build one that inspires you to rise higher, love deeper, and believe longer than your doubts ever could. Your emotions don't need control, they need direction. Emotions are not the enemy, they are signals, messages from within that tell you what matters, what you care about, and what needs attention. The problem is not feeling anger, fear, sadness, or excitement. The problem is letting those emotions run wild without purpose, allowing them to dictate your actions instead of guiding them. Most people think emotional mastery is about suppressing feelings, holding them back, or pretending they don't exist. That's not discipline, that's denial. True mastery comes from understanding your emotions, acknowledging them, and then channeling them toward intentional action. When you feel frustration, you can let it explode and damage relationships, or you can direct it into problem solving and growth. When you feel fear, you can let it paralyze you, or you can let it sharpen your focus and prepare you for challenges. When you feel joy, you can let it dissipate in distraction, or you can let it fuel gratitude and connection with others. Emotions are energy, and energy flows where attention goes. The question is not whether you feel, the question is where you point that energy. Learning to give direction to your emotions means you stay productive even when life feels heavy. It means you respond instead of reacting. People who seem calm under pressure are not devoid of emotion, they have learned to direct it. They understand that anger, disappointment, and fear are not obstacles to avoid but forces to harness. They know that the same emotion that can destroy can also motivate, inspire, and create. It's about creating a channel for the energy of your feelings so that they serve you, rather than control you. The first step is awareness. Notice what you feel, why you feel it, and how it affects your choices. The second step is intentionality. Decide how that energy can serve your goals, your relationships, and your growth. The third step is action. Use your emotions as fuel, not as a leash. Life will always provoke you, challenge you, and push you off balance, but when you learn to direct your emotions, you turn turbulence into momentum. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being the pilot of your inner world. Emotions are not something to be tamed. They are something to be guided, steered, and transformed into the force that drives you toward who you are meant to become. Money is a mirror. It reflects your mindset, not your worth. The amount in your bank account, the investments you make, or the debts you carry do not define your value as a person. Money is simply a tool, a measure of how you manage, think, and act. It shows whether you plan for the future or live solely for today. It reveals whether you prioritize growth or instant gratification. People often blame money for their problems as if it has power over them, but the truth is that money only amplifies what is already inside. It reflects habits, choices, and beliefs more than anything else. Your relationship with money begins in the mind. If you constantly think scarcity, you will act in scarcity. You will hoard, worry, and resist opportunities. If you think abundance, you will see possibilities and take calculated risks. Money doesn't create happiness or success. It magnifies the mindset you bring to it. Those who struggle financially often have the same value, intelligence, and potential as those who thrive. The difference lies in their approach, discipline, and vision. Every dollar you earn or spend is a reflection of your priorities and your self-respect. If you spend recklessly, it shows a lack of planning and patience. If you save and invest wisely, it shows foresight and responsibility. Understanding this truth changes how you handle money. It's not about judgment, comparison, or envy. It's about awareness. Money is neutral, but your choices give it direction. Wealth is not a measure of your character, but it is a reflection of how disciplined, informed, and intentional you are. When you respect money, you respect yourself. When you abuse it, you reveal a lack of alignment between your values and your actions. The people who build lasting wealth are not necessarily the smartest or luckiest. They are consistent, disciplined, and mindful. They understand that every decision matters, every habit compounds, and every thought about money influences reality. Money mirrors what you already believe about yourself, your potential, and your future. When you improve your mindset, your actions change and your financial reality follows. The power is not in the currency you hold. It's in the mindset that guides how you use it, multiply it, and respect it. Money simply reflects the story you tell yourself about what is possible. The mind is either your greatest ally or your loudest enemy. It is the battlefield where every success, failure, belief, and doubt is decided. The thoughts you allow to take residence in your mind will dictate how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately how far you go in life. A mind that is trained, focused, and disciplined becomes a powerful partner. It sees opportunities where others see obstacles, solutions where others see problems, and growth where others see setbacks. But an undisciplined mind can be a relentless critic, replaying fears, insecurities, and doubts until they shape your reality more than your intentions ever could. Most people underestimate the power of their own thoughts. They allow negative self-talk to go unchecked, convincing themselves they are not capable, not deserving, or not enough. Every word you repeat to yourself strengthens the pathways in your brain, shaping beliefs that can either liberate you or trap you. When your mind becomes an enemy, it can convince you to give up before you even start, to settle for less than your potential, or to create drama where none exists. On the other hand, a disciplined mind is patient and strategic. It doesn't react impulsively. It evaluates, plans, and directs energy toward meaningful action. It is calm under pressure, resilient in the face of failure, and persistent when the path is uncertain. The key is awareness. Recognize that your thoughts are not always facts. They are opinions your mind has formed over time, influenced by fear, past experiences, and external pressures. When you can separate what is true from what is imagined, you regain control over the most powerful tool you possess. Feed your mind with clarity, focus, and positivity, and it will repay you with insight, courage, and creativity. Starve it of distractions, fears, and doubt, and it will work tirelessly against you, sabotaging your efforts without mercy. The mind is a mirror of your inner world, reflecting your beliefs, your habits, and your choices. Treat it as an ally, and it will propel you forward. Treat it as an enemy, and it will hold you back. Success, happiness, and growth are not accidents. They are the natural outcome of a mind that is trained to support your vision instead of fighting against it. The question is simple. Will you make your mind your greatest friend or your loudest enemy? The answer will define your life. Mastering yourself is the highest form of leadership. True leadership is not about titles, authority, or the ability to command others. It begins with the ability to lead yourself. It is about understanding your strengths and weaknesses, controlling your impulses, and aligning your actions with your values. When you master yourself, you create consistency in your behavior, clarity in your decisions, and integrity in your interactions. People naturally follow those who are composed, deliberate, and self-aware, because self-mastery signals strength and reliability. Without it, leadership is hollow, no matter how loud the voice or impressive the position. Self-mastery starts with awareness. You must observe your thoughts, emotions, and habits without judgment, noticing patterns that either serve you or hold you back. Many people mistake activity for progress, reacting to situations instead of responding with intention. Mastery requires pausing before you act, questioning your motives, and making choices that reflect the person you want to become, not the one you feel like in the moment. It is in these moments of conscious decision making that true leadership is born, not when everything is easy, but when the stakes are high and the temptation to react poorly is strongest. Discipline is an essential companion to self-mastery. It is what turns insight into action and principles into results. A person who has mastered themselves does not wait for motivation or external pressure to act. They act because their values demand it. They can control their mouth, their moods, their money, and their mind, and through that control, they create influence that inspires rather than coerces. Mastering yourself also requires humility, the willingness to admit mistakes, learn from them, and continuously improve. Leadership without humility is arrogance, but leadership rooted in self-awareness is trust. The impact of self-mastery extends beyond personal growth. It sets the standard for everyone around you. When you model patience, resilience, and integrity, you elevate the culture of your team, your family, and your community. People are more likely to rise to the level of your example than to the demands of your authority. This is why mastering yourself is the highest form of leadership. It transforms influence into inspiration, authority into authenticity, and potential into legacy. The person who leads themselves first has the power to lead the world with purpose, clarity, and impact, because true leadership always begins within.